I am Batman. Average Sniper.
What's up, guys? Average Sniper here, and I've got some information about a new free-to-play battle royale called Ring of Elysium, and it is a great PUBG alternative. I'm going to walk you guys through it real quick. This game is available on Steam for free, and you may have remembered me playing it before when it was in the alpha stages. So you basically pick where you want to go on this map before the game starts. And the other blue squares represent people that have already spawned in. And then, all of a sudden, here you are, right where you picked. Now, the unique thing about this game is you start with a backpack and a pistol, and you also get to pick whether you want to be a climber, a paraglider, or a snowboarder. I personally like to be the snowboarder. It helps you move around the map much quicker. The climber can obviously climb things, and the paraglider can jump off things that are really high and paraglide around the map, which is actually pretty cool. So once you've found the gear you need in classic PUBG fashion, you can do something that's not in classic PUBG fashion and go on a little snowboard trip. As long as the ground is even slightly vertical, you're going to take off on the snowboard. You can snowboard on regular ground too. It'll just go pretty slow. It's pretty cool, some of the things you can go down. This is an actual ski course right here, but you can actually go up on the mountains. You can ride those little ski lifts that take you around the map. They're pretty slow, but you can still ride them if you want. And you can just see some really cool stuff. The graphics aren't too bad. The game plays out in 1080, and if you have a good graphics card, you can get 60 frames per second or better. And then, of course, you will run into enemies that want to kill you, like this guy right here that was not expecting him to be here. So after my first couple potato aims, I barely survived this fight, and I'm able to take him out. You can toggle your controls for hold to aim down sights or tap to aim down sights, just like in PUBG. You can also choose to play in third person or first person, whichever you prefer. Now once you get looted up and you find some gear, you can pretty much play the same way you would play PUBG. Find a vehicle, drive around, loot some more, get into gunfights, you know, whatever floats your boat and whatever makes you basically enjoy the game. And this certain scenario here, I was still looking for some loot, and all of a sudden I started getting shot at. And this guy, he wasn't too aggressive, but I couldn't figure out exactly where he was. And then I started to realize later on that there was actually a whole bunch of people around this area, and I just went on a complete killing spree, which you'll be able to see here in just a second. But some of the things I like about this game is just like the simplicity of it and the extra ideas they added in. Obviously, it is kind of like a PUBG ripoff, but believe it or not, it's made by the exact same company that made PUBG Mobile, which is Tencent Games. Now, I figured out where this guy is. He's in here, and he must not have known that I could run up behind him because this was such an easy kill to get. Headshot right there with the AK-47. He was just sitting on the stairs waiting for me to come up, which is how most people tend to play these Battle Royale games. It's very rare that I find a player that's really aggressive unless he somehow knows he has an advantage over you. Like if he shoots you like 2 or 3 times and then he's like, I gotta get him before he heals. But surprisingly, a lot of people don't even do that in these types of Battle Royale games. You know, they might wound you to the point where you have like no health, but they're still gonna be like, I don't want to leave my cover. I'd rather wait for him to come to me and this and that. And I guess it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I'll play all kinds of different ways. I try not to put myself at a disadvantage, but I do like to engage the enemy. Oh, and you can peek in this game, but you can't peek like you can in PUBG where you just kind of pick when and where you want to peek. It's more like Battlefield peeking, where you have to get really close to the edge of something and then press the aim button and he'll peek around the corner. I personally don't like the peek system that much because it's hard to control how much of your head, how much of your body is actually going to show around the corner. So when I come around the corner, I usually come around the corner blasting. That guy tried to drive away. That's a perfect example of what I was just saying. He had me down to like 8 health, I think. All he had to do was push me, and I wouldn't have had time to heal. I probably would have gotten destroyed. But he would rather run away. So, yeah, there's that. So as I was going to loot this guy, somebody else started shooting me. I'm like, oh man, dude, I cannot like catch a break over here. There's so many people. So this map is actually a lot smaller than the PUBG map, and it only has 60 people on it. So I was actually surprised when I was playing how many people were in the same area. Now, you have different, I know you see me healing a lot here. You have different medical supplies. You have a med kit, which gives you 0 to 100% health instantly. Whoa, I almost got destroyed right there from a different guy. It's crazy. You have a med kit that gives you 100% health instantly, and then you have first aid kits that give you 50% health instantly, and then you have bandages that give you about, I think, it takes about 10 or 11 bandages to go full health. So I would say they give you somewhere around 10% health increase instantly as soon as you use them. Right now, there's 2 types of armor and helmets. You have the basic helmet and you have the more advanced helmet. I forget the exact name they used for it, but it's basically the level 1 stuff is basic and the level 2 stuff is more advanced, but I haven't seen any level 3 stuff yet, even in the care packages. And they do have care packages, like I said, that drop down, and they're like these little spherical things that can actually roll around once they hit the ground, which is pretty cool. You can get assault rifles out of them or sniper rifles. You can get better gear, pretty much the exact same as PUBG, except you're not guaranteed to get level 3 gear out of each care package like you are in PUBG. Well, that was the last guy around this area, and hopefully that little gunfight showed you how much this game is like PUBG, where you get into a fight, you think it's done, you think there's nobody else, you go to loot, and all of a sudden somebody's shooting you in the back. There were so many close calls there, man. I can't even believe I survived that. So, of course, once you start getting towards the end of the game, you can see there are 5 kills in at the top right and 11 people left. So once you start getting towards the end of the game, you might want to play more conservatively and try to find somewhere that you can defend instead of attacking people that already have some kind of stronghold. So I wrote up here, kind of towards the edge of the map. This is the same playstyle I'll use in PUBG when it starts getting towards the end game. But there was already somebody here. And I didn't know exactly where the guy was, but he was shooting at me, and then I saw him there. I decided to back off from this attack. 1, because he threw a grenade. 2, because he knows where I am. And 3, because I was at a serious disadvantage. He can pretty much pop up anywhere he wants and shoot at me, but I can't really see him and engage. So I decided to back off a little bit. And I wanted to go further, but my truck kind of crashed. And instead of getting shot out of the truck, I decided I better move a little bit. Now, I do have a sniper rifle, which is more like a DMR. It's a G28, which is very similar to the SKS in PUBG. I have an 8x scope on it, so I can definitely engage this guy. I just feel that I'm at this point in time, I felt that I was at a pretty serious disadvantage with him being uphill and everything. However, I can already tell this guy's making some major mistakes by not pushing me. So that makes me think, you know, it'd be probably not going to be too hard to actually kill this guy. If I put 1 or 2 shots into somebody, I'm definitely going to push them and try and finish the job before they get a chance to heal. Even if they get a couple shots into me, it's only going to take 1 or 2 more bullets out of my gun to kill them. So right here, I get 2 solid hits on the guy with my G28 DMR, and I decide I'm not going to do him the same courtesy he did me. I'm going to run up to this guy and take him out. So he went from having the advantage to having a disadvantage. And that is pretty much how I like to play the game. So he had a sniper rifle there, but I didn't want to take time to loot. I figure it's this far into the game. There's only a few people left. It looks like about 9 people left. So I'm just going to stick with the gear that I have and ride this thing out. Now, I continue to play the same way I would in PUBG, but here's where the twist to this game comes in. There is a helicopter that you have to board in order to win. Even if you kill all the rest of the people on the map, you still have to board this helicopter in order to win. The reason is that there's this giant snowstorm coming in, and if you get caught in it, you die. This is like the storm in Fortnite or the blue in PUBG. It's the part of the map you do not want to be in. And just like in PUBG and Fortnite, there are safe points of the map and points that are not safe. So you have to make sure you stay in those points. You don't want to be the first guy to climb the ladder to the helicopter when there's still a lot of people left, because people guard the helicopter. Kind of like I'm doing right now. I drove up to the helicopter, and instead of getting right on, I decided to kill that guy. But there's only 4 seats available on the helicopter, so you have to secure a seat before everybody else does. So you do kind of want to get on the helicopter as soon as possible, but not if it's being guarded dangerously. So this is the most crucial part, because you can get shot right off this ladder. Fortunately, I made it up into the helicopter. That's an instant win right there. There's 1 seat left, and there's still people on the ground. Well, basically, you sit in the helicopter and wait for those guys to finish fighting each other. When it comes down to the last 2, you can see here there's some grenades going off. These guys are fighting. The weather's gotten worse. The snowstorm's coming in. He just killed the guy. Now there's only one guy left down there, so he can climb up the ladder just fine. Once you're in the helicopter, you cannot shoot out of it, and you cannot get shot inside of it. You are safe. So we can see the very last guy is climbing up the ladder, and that is how you win the game. It's a pretty interesting twist. A pretty interesting twist on the Battle Royale games, where classically you have to kill the last player to survive, but in this one, at least in solos, you can have 4 people live. In duos, you can have 2 teams survive, but in squads, you can only have 4 people. So it's either your squad or maybe you and a few people from the other squad. So you're basically fighting people to get a spot in this helicopter to be evacuated. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Later.